what are you doing?
Oh, hey. I'm just waiting on somebody. I do a review show here every week. I'm waiting on the guest.
Oh, what are you going to watch?
It's this movie called Amsterdam. It's got like a ton of famous actors in it, and actually got an actor to do the review with me. So I'm just waiting on him.
Is he any good?
Oh, I have no idea. Not a clue.
Okay.
You Philip?
Yeah. And you must be Mr. Clifton?
Call me Barry, kid. I haven't lived a good life. I've done some really bad things. Worse than you could possibly imagine.
Cool?
You think I'm crazy? The whole world is an insane asylum across the universe. Everyone sends their lunatics here from their planets. Did someone say planet? Because I got a ship that can make the Kessler run in 12 parsecs. I know parsec is a measurement of distance, not time, so that doesn't make any sense. But believe me, it's pretty impressive.
What? You did? You are the only one who said anything about a planet.
Clearly we're boiled at different degrees, partner. But let's not spoil this rodeo by thinking about it too much, huh? Fate pulls you in all sorts of directions. But I'd never been able to achieve anything if I hadn't kept my eyes on the horizon. Man, look at all this.
What is he even talking about?
You have to feel confident in this. You have to. Else you're going to back off and be defensive. And you're going to have all kind of things coming at you. Find what fits your pistol and hold on. Because tomorrow is promised to no one.
Dang.
He's a good actor.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Tavern Talk. I'm Philip, and joining me this week, Mr. Barry Clifton. Thank you for being here.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Honored to have you. Barry is an actor. Earlier this year, appeared on the miniseries The Thing About Pam, starring Renee Zellweger.
We're out of cherry. Jer.
Oh, sorry, Pam.
And most recently, wrapped on the feature Hellfire that was shot here in Little Rock. So a lot going on, so I appreciate you taking the time to be here tonight and watch a movie with us.
You bet. It was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you for lending some of your acting skills there in the in our goofy little intros. But no, I really appreciate that, and appreciate you coming out to lend an actor's perspective on this film, because this week we're talking about a movie called Amsterdam. It is the latest from director David O. Russell. You might know him from The Fighter, or Three Kings was one of his earlier hits. Also directed Silver Linings Playbook, and Joy was his most recent one in 2015. So it's been a little bit since we've had a David O. Russell movie. This movie has a huge cast, just to name a few, the leads are Christian Bale, John David Washington, and Margot Robbie. They are a doctor, a nurse, and an attorney, as we were told many times in the movie. And this is, I think, loosely based on some true events that happened in 1933, 1934. It just, kind of a crazy conspiracy to overthrow the government, I guess, in a way. I don't want to give away too much of the plot or, reveal too much if you don't know if you're not aware of the actual events. But yeah, it's kind of a caper, very kind of a more comedic than you might expect given that premise. But I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect going into this one, but where did you kind of, what were your expectations going into this, and what is your initial reaction to it?
Well, just from the trailer, I was looking forward to seeing the awesome talent that's in the film,
Right.
of course. And then once the film started, I was thinking kind of Coen Brothers,
Okay. Are you sure?
and then, if you don't mind me continuing, because at first I thought, okay, it's Coen Brothers, but a bit more cerebral maybe. And then, unfortunately, later on I kind of thought it's Coen Brothers, but not near as witty.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely, this movie is 2 hours and 14 minutes and really doesn't need to be.
No, all the characters were wonderful. I think
Yes.
they were fully developed characters, and of course the actors did a wonderful job. But to me, the story wasn't fully fleshed out, or they didn't meld together well. Or
And especially in like the final stretch of the movie, it just felt like it was like very redundant and kind of like repeating, making sure that we understood what exactly was going on, but without ever like kind of like just flat out saying what was going on. It just kind of repeated these things over and over. And it was like, yes, we get the gist of what's happening.
And that's the thing that really it doesn't really bother me, because it was a good film. But the subject matter, which I really don't want to talk about because it would spoil it.
Right.
The subject matter is of paramount importance.
Yeah.
I think it's critical, especially today. It's a shame that every generation, once or twice, needs to be retaught the lessons
Yes.
that are talked about in this film. And it's happening today, and it's going to happen again and again. So it's very important to talk about these things. But the way they package that message, and I love packaging that message with humor.
Yeah, 'cause
This package didn't seem to fit the message.
I see. Okay. No, it is interesting because again, going into it, I wasn't aware really what the story was about. I didn't even realize until a couple days ago that it's based on like real events or anything. I just knew David O. Russell usually writes his own movies, and again, this is a screenplay that he has written. But yeah, I wasn't aware of what they called the business plot, I guess is kind of what it was known as. But yeah, I wasn't aware of any of that. I just knew that it kind of felt like this caper with Christian Bale and John David Washington and Margot Robbie having a lot of fun. And it is that for a good stretch of the runtime. But yeah, once it's like, okay, this is fun. I'm having a good time with these people, and we're having a lot of interesting conversations. But at some point, you're like, okay, but where is this going? And then when it finally gets where it's going, it doesn't stick the landing. I guess
It takes us to a very important place.
Right.
When it's anything, regardless of the collateral damage, any damage is acceptable to reach the means of power, and that is terribly dangerous then and now, and that's because the people in power back then, and the people who were trying to gain power, they weren't crazy. They're very rational people. Now it's kind of a insane rationality, but it is. It's the power, the thing that they know what's right, and any damage done along the way is worth what their vision of right is.
Right.
And so it's a very rational approach. In the Nuremberg trials, it comes out some of the rationality that they used to commit the atrocities they did. And mankind is very capable of doing that today.
Yeah, there is definitely a reason why David O. Russell, whenever he stumbled upon this, and discovered this had happened, I'm sure that was very, there's a reason he was like, now is a great time to revisit this story. Again, we don't want to give away too much of the plot points or anything like that, but obviously one of the big selling points of this movie is the kind of expansive cast and the huge ensemble. Even in like bit roles, supporting roles, we see a lot of familiar faces just popping up throughout the entirety of the movie. And obviously with you being an actor and kind of having a behind the scenes kind of perspective on that craft, essentially, kind of obviously wanted to talk about the performances here and which ones stood out to you, which ones you enjoyed the most, which ones you thought were the most kind of unique to, or that fit the tone the most. But yeah, just in general, what you thought of the performances and what kind of stood out to you.
Sure. Well, it's definitely an eclectic collection of performances and characters they were portraying. But I'll tell you, the one that struck me as kind of odd, I doubt that Christian Bale was attempting it, But from his very first line, I was thinking of Peter Falk in the role of the Detective Columbo.
Isn't that funny the way those things happen?
And he was fully committed to it.
He
that's
was.
for sure,
He was, yeah. And kind of, I was really impressed by how consistently they kept the tone throughout the entirety of the movie. Like, Christian Bale is doing something very specific here, but it seemed like all the actors were kind of on the same wavelength in a way.
And with the main characters, that indeed was probably a really difficult. But the beauty of maybe some of the character actors that came in throughout the film is they just had, like you said, the small part. Just the one particular part, a piece of the puzzle that they played.
Yeah.
And so they were able to concentrate on that and pull it off masterfully. Mike Myers, for instance.
Yes.
With his role as the manufacturer, the glass manufacturer, it was just spot on. Now he did appear a couple of times in the film, but he nailed that. And then the U.S. Treasury.
I kind of want Mike Myers and Michael Shannon to have. I want to see like a series of their adventures throughout the years.
I suppose that was my favorite. Was that duo?
Yes, I was. Whenever they showed up and just their rapport back and forth, they have a whole thing about birding.
Yeah,
it's great.
The American and the Brit, together, and
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Hey, balls in whoever's court, but it's there's some chemistry there that was pretty undeniable. Yeah, those were definitely some of my favorite scenes as well. You also have Rami Malek in here, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zoe Saldaña, Andrea Riseborough plays Christian Bale's wife, who's kind of terrible. People would probably question why I haven't mentioned Taylor Swift yet. And there's a reason for that because, nothing against her necessarily, but she isn't given the chance to make the biggest impression. But, Taylor Swift is in this movie too, as is Chris Rock, who I wish I could have spent a little more time with. He had some funny one-liners. Probably got to improv a little bit. Robert De Niro is also in this movie.
Well, I think it was funny that they had Chris Rock being the MC.
Yes, exactly.
At an event, that was interesting.
Yeah. I know. I was like, this was definitely shot before the other.
or maybe not.
Greatest night in the history of television.
Maybe not. And I want to backtrack a little bit, because Christian Bale is an absolutely incredible, amazing actor. I'd love to find out what was behind that choice, and if he's even familiar with Peter Falk's work. Surely
I'm sure
he is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I don't know if he heard that from anyone else or what, or if anyone else would get that. It may have just been me.
Isn't that funny the way those things happen?
I mean, even his mannerisms.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well,
and that may have been intentional. If it was intentional, my God, he's a genius.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I still don't know why.
Really good. Yeah. Because I wonder if that, we see a little bit, speaking of Robert De Niro at the end, we see kind of who he was playing and what they, one of the speeches.
I was in the Marine Corps, and
I
not
know,
giving too much away about the film. The general that's mentioned, there are camps and buildings named after him all over.
Oh wow!
all
No, I
over the
didn't
world.
realize that,
Yeah.
or I didn't realize you were in the Marines as well. That's so. Oh, and that's an even more interesting kind of perspective on this movie and where it was going, or kind of what it stood for, because it is a lot about John David Washington and Christian Bale's characters are veterans, and that is kind of the whole. That is like the basis of their plight.
Yeah.
Like they are trying to do right by
And
the people.
there isn't black or white. There's
Right.
Everybody's green.
Right.
That's one of the first things they told us in boot camp.
Oh, that's
We're
awesome.
all green.
Yeah. And I kind of love that aspect of it. We haven't really talked about John David Washington's performance, but him and Margot Robbie are meant to have some chemistry here. And I thought, the trio, I really liked.
I did too. I love
the
that.
camaraderie between the main trio. Like I thought they all just played off each other well, especially in those early scenes, like we were talking about.
And that's kind of, and it may be. It was one of those films about, I don't know. When at first I was thinking, oh, okay, it's like Coen Brothers.
Okay.
And I thought, well, no, wait. My first thought was, okay, it's too cerebral, and I'm not getting it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
And I hate watching stuff that I think I'm not smart enough to get.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
But that may have been the case.
I know that feeling well, and that's definitely come up in certain Coen Brothers movies.
Okay.
I was really into it that first and second act, and
Yeah.
just really liked where it was going, what it was going for. I thought kind of the tone mixed with the mystery elements and kind of trying to figure out what was happening and all that stuff worked really well. Once we got to kind of what was going on, obviously the conclusion and like the events that this is based on and what was really happening are both alarming and kind of shocking, but yeah, like you said, the way it's packaged, the way it's executed, the way they kind of conveyed that final realization just didn't make it feel as much like that. So I was kind of just like, oh man, it was really going, and it does so much right and feels so cohesive in so many ways, but at the end it all kind of like
Okay, now here's what we're really here.
Yeah, and it's like what
Like I said, it's an important place they got to.
Yeah,
But-
the message is important and a good message to like have out there right now. Yeah, like you said, but it's just
Odd way to get there. A circuitous route.
yeah. Well, usually what we do here on Tavern Talk at the end of the reviews is an out of 5-star rating, like initial reaction rating. Obviously, the bit here is we kind of just walked out of the theater. This is our initial reaction to the movie. What would your star rating for Amsterdam be?
I would give it a 3 because there are some really like you said the friendship between the three of them, the sets, the wardrobe, all that. I'd give it a 3.
Yeah, I was going to go 3.5. I totally understand, like 3, like it kind of makes me want to do that. But
Well, I didn't know we could do halves. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 3.5.
Yeah. Okay, well, 3.5 right there. We'll both stick with that. No, I liked so much of it. Like I said, the way it looked, all the performances, like everyone kind of being on the same page with everything. I think it really gets to what it's going for up until that last act, and then kind of just it goes awry. But no, I really enjoyed a lot more of it than I did, I guess. So,
And you should come to the movie tavern
Exactly.
to see it.
what he said. Yeah, no, if you have a movie tavern near you, definitely check out Amsterdam on the big screen. It was really cool to see, like I said, some beautiful shots in here, really cool production and set design and costume design. The music, I wanted to mention, it was by Daniel Pemberton, is the composer, and really cool score here. I can't exactly put my finger on what it was that kind of made it stand out to me at the moment, but I appreciated that as well. I made a couple notes during the screening where I was like, oh, this part's really cool how the music is accompanying it. So yeah, we'll be anxious to go listen to that score on its own as well. But thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to do this, and thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. We upload a new review of the biggest release every week, so hit that notification bell and you'll get a notification when we do that, when we upload a new review. But thank you guys. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Movie Tavern. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.